This is the original iPhone, released in June 2007. This is the iPad Air Mini 1, released in 2012, just a few years later. This is the 2021 Apple Watch, released less than a decade after that. This is the iPhone 15 Pro Max, released in 2023, and this video is being recorded on the iPhone 16 Pro Max, released in 2024. We can see how in less than 2 decades, the hardware has exploded in terms of innovation. But we can all agree that the software has been even more explosive, going from basic apps on the original iPhone that serve 1 or 2 functions to complex AI apps like ChatGPT that we use on our modern phones today. As we spend and invest more and more time in the digital world on these devices, not having access to them can be detrimental to someone's personal, social, and professional growth. So, in today's video, we'll be talking to Deborah Lang, Clayton Aguilar, and Megan Columbus from KindWorks Digital Empowerment Program. Their team will share with us how people can donate their old devices to KindWorks' Digital Empowerment Program so that it can be used by people who need it most in our community. Having access to devices like laptops and tablets can really help young people bridge the gap between them and other students that are excelling in their grade level, because they'll be able to learn at home outside of school and find their own level of learning at their own pace. So make sure to stick around to the end to learn all about the Digital Empowerment Program and how you can contribute to helping young people bridge the digital divide in today's digital world.
So the Digital Empowerment Program's been operational for 4.5 years. We've given away about 2,000 computers. We take retired laptops from companies in the area who no longer need them. We purge the data, we update the operating system, we replace any parts that need to be replaced, and we give them away to people in need. It reduces e-waste, it reduces the digital divide, gives people the tools that they now need and can't live without to become successful, independent, and better integrated into community. Clayton and Megan are 2 of our 4 project chairs who have been with us since the beginning. We've got about 14 people working as a team to refurbish computers, and all we need, unfortunately, there continues to be a huge demand for new computer equipment, and all we need are corporations, governmental agencies, projects that are retiring high-quality laptops to give us their laptops so we can turn them over and give them away. And I'd love you to spend a minute and hear from Clayton and from Megan.
Hey there, Megan Columbus. I have also been with KindWorks since the beginning in the Digital Empowerment Program. I guess what struck me pretty immediately was we don't realize how many people really are not connected electronically to the world and how difficult it is to navigate anything without having a computer. And so we give computers to kids who are going to college who wouldn't have a computer for their college courses. We give computers to recent immigrants who have been refugees and arrived in this country with absolutely nothing. And they need to be able to put together resumes and do online job searches. And it gives people the tools that they need.
With regard to some of those immigrants and refugees who are here and get the computers, they all do need connection just to even get settled. But many of these people have been doctors, lawyers, engineers, really high-level people in their home country. Having a really great computer will allow them to pick up a life that they had built and had to give up before, and so that's really gratifying. Maybe Clayton, would you tell the story of the engineer that you recently helped?
Oh, yeah. So he and his family, I'm pretty sure, came from Afghanistan, like a lot of our end users, and I always like, if I have the opportunity to chat with them, often we chat with the organization and we interface with them when we give the computers out. But whenever I can talk to the actual people that are getting them, I really enjoy it. And this guy was just the nicest guy, smart, fixes stuff. You know, he's I think both he and his dad, just engineering kind of mind, which is the case with my dad and myself, and I just understood. He really wanted to be a civil engineer, and there was a program that he wanted to get. He had a specific program. So I downloaded it, made sure that it worked on a really nice desktop I had, and then I realized this that there was a laptop that would work on, which is much more practical. And I haven't heard from him about that program, but I heard that he's doing great, and it's just that's what works for me.
Yeah, when we started the program, literally what we were doing was sending out messages to our neighborhood listservs. And people were like, oh, yes, I have a desktop or a laptop sitting in the basement that I didn't know what to do with. And that worked well, except we tended to get older computers and things would dribble in, and the need just grew so exponentially once people realized that we were doing this, or the expression of need, that once we started to engage with companies, and some of these companies are smaller companies and some of them are larger companies, when they refresh their computers every 4 or 5 years, that 5-year-old computer is just a godsend to somebody who receives it. So I encourage people to think about what they do in their own business life and to think about how they might be able to save the environment and do some real good with these computers. We have so many stories of success. We have women coming out of women's shelters who have been abused. We have people coming in from other countries. We have people who are graduating from mentoring programs in DC. We have all kinds of people who just need to stay connected to the world. We actually started during COVID, and I think that's where that connection was the most important, right? We were all isolated in our homes. Some of these people are not only isolated in their homes, but they're isolated away from everybody they knew in their home country or somewhere else, right? And so being able to just Zoom their education or to connect with a family member or to be able to make progress in a time when we were all sequestered was just huge. And that's how we got started.
So since we are a project of KindWorks, we have been working with other organizations and government agencies, and we really know the need in the community for probably the past 15 years. So when Phil Shapiro came to us with the idea of creating a digital empowerment program, we had the contacts and we could meet the needs in the community. We needed to get the computers in and recruit people like Megan and Clayton who could refurbish the computers and create this program. It's been an absolute inspiration to watch how these people have come together to create a program that has been able to scale up from a couple hundred computers 3 years ago to 600 and 700 computers a year now, and to see the outreach from what Megan had described, individual collections in our communities, to now corporate donors coming to us and saying, I've got 150 computers that we just retired. Can we work with you to make sure that they get used for community? The way that we still find need is through those contacts that we've always had and vetting new organizations that represent people in need in the community. And that's a whole separate process. We don't deal with individuals almost ever. It all comes through frontline service providers.
The frontline service providers, that's the local nonprofits, they're the ones who are hearing from the people that they're servicing that they don't have the resources and the connections they need, that technology. They're the ones who vet and make sure that we're really reaching the people that are most in need. And they also follow up with those people. They might help them get started if those people are new on computers. And then they let us know the stories of success. And there are many stories of success. On the other side, there are lots of people locally who just needed a computer to be able to attend classes either in person or remotely, and this gives them the tools that allows them to do that. It gives them one more step up and helps them succeed.
For me, one of the main beauties of the Digital Empowerment Program, a project of KindWorks, is it is bringing people in the community, the needs in the community and the resources in the community closer together. There's better understanding among people. There's better sharing of resources. It's just a way for people to be involved with their neighbors' lives in a substantive way.
For me, the Digital Empowerment Program is really all about leveling the playing field. It's letting people know that the people around them, their neighbors, care about them enough to put the work in to help give them a leg up.
KindWorks, it means a lot to me because it just allows me to use skills that I've had for years and years. I've been fixing stuff all my life. My dad did the same, and the mechanics of a computer are not that complicated. They look like they are, but they're not. And setting them up, getting them to work well, is like what I enjoy doing, and seeing people use them in a positive way to change their lives. So I get a lot out of that.
So we have mostly been running the program in a similar way for the last 3 years, but after having a few new people join last year, we have an exciting announcement to make, and that is that we can now purge data in accordance with NIST 800-88. And that had been something that I think a lot of companies were waiting for. You know, they really want the comfort of knowing that this data is gone and can never be retrieved. So we've got that. Call us, let us purge your data, and refurbish the machines and give them away. Another way that we find needs in the community is as we're working with groups that we support, another need arises. I was recently talking to one of the guys who was running a mentoring program in DC, and he said to me, you know, there's a school, I work closely with a couple of the classrooms at McFarland in DC, and the teachers would really love some extra Chromebooks. They don't have enough for each of their kids to work on, and we were able to just send over a whole bunch of computers and give those teachers what they needed so that they could work with those students on a more consistent basis and make those kids kind of computer ready.
So early on in the program, one of my, favorite memories of computers that we had given was when there were these COVID testing sites and vaccination sites.
Oh, right.
And they didn't have computers to do the tracking there. And so this was in Montgomery County, Maryland, right? So we were able to donate there. Or to MANA, which is a food distribution organization, they took computers that we set up so that they could do computer training in some of the food distribution sites. And so I love that we're not just supporting individuals, but we're expanding that reach to these computer labs to lots of other people as well. I would really love for everybody to have access to technology and to understand how to use it. And I would love if our, little program that supports the DMV area, if this could get replicated across the country and across the world so that we save our landfills and we have people on a more equitable digital footing.
And I would love to add to that it would be fantastic if, like we all stopped throwing trash out our car windows and we started recycling plastic and paper, everybody that has a laptop should find a second life for it through a refurbishing program like ours and not dispose of it. That would be our dream.
And a lot of people don't realize what's in these computers, and a lot of it's very toxic. There's a lot of lead, there's a lot of rare minerals, and a lot of things that it should not be in a landfill. They need to be isolated, and I think Montgomery County has a pretty good program for that. And you just don't throw it away and don't put it in the ground. There's enough toxic stuff there already. So
I think people have concerns that if they give us computers, that they won't be securely wiped, so that there might be a security concern, and we have procedures that thoroughly address that. So I think the things people need to understand is that they shouldn't have security concerns, that we will securely wipe the computers when necessary. If the information is sensitive enough, we will follow NIST standards that'll allow us to do that in a way that anybody, a company large or small, would be happy with. This is really an opportunity for you to help people who are underserved get a leg up in life. And the best way for you to do that is through your company's donations of computers to KindWorks Digital Empowerment Program.
I love so much working with this team because they are all so brilliant and they bring something different to what the whole team does. So I love working with this team and am constantly amazed by how these very, very different 14 or so people come together to make this thing constantly new, better, and fun. Our volunteers range in age from now 11 to probably 75-ish or so, and really all the way through there.
I really love reading the stories when people request the computers, these organizations request the computers for us, reading these stories and knowing how much of a difference in someone's life you're making by the couple hours of time that we spend refurbishing that computer.
So I think we're going to hear from Khwaja, who is an Afghan refugee who recently received a computer from us. So I will let him tell his story.
In addition to all supports I received from Ms. Deborah Long, she always encouraged me in my career development. She asked me, how can I help you to find your desired job? I looked around and searched and finally find out that I need a powerful laptop that could bring me from construction field as a civil engineer to the office work, what I did in my own country for about 10 years. So I asked her for a laptop, which are high quality and powerful, which could run AutoCAD and 3D Max, several 3D programs. So she didn't refuse. She just asked me for time. After 2 weeks of my request for a new and powerful computer, she looked around and searched and communicated with me many times. And finally, she provided me with a powerful computer, which I'm hoping that with this computer, I will be able to find my desired job. Before receiving laptop from Ms. Deborah and KindWorks team, I was using my very old laptop, which were not able to handle the software that I need to use. This new laptop, which high qualification, will help me to enter to my field and apply for jobs that match with my experience. Without high quality laptop, I couldn't do anything professional. No virtual meetings, no online trainings, courses, no interviews. It was frustrating because I had the skills, but I didn't have the tools. With this laptop, I have been able to apply for jobs in my field and attend training sessions. It's a huge step toward becoming independent and rebuilding my life here in the United States. And it couldn't be possible without Ms. Deborah's and KindWorks help. At this time, I would like to highly appreciate from the donor. And I want donors to know that even a single item, like laptop, can completely change someone's future. Your donation is not just a device or a piece of furniture. It's a chance for someone like me to start over with dignity, purpose, and hope. It's something we will never forget. Please consider volunteering or donating to KindWorks. Every bit of support makes a real difference. Come volunteer with KindWorks and help families rebuild their lives with hope and dignity.
But I would like to say that one of the recipients that really speaks to me every time we get a notice from them requesting a computer is there's a department at the University of Maryland that helps people who experience economic hardship while in college and while getting advanced degrees. And we've been able to give folks there, whether they were freshmen or they had like 3 weeks left to go, their computer broke and they were just about to defend their dissertation. These are really fun requests that we get, and we can make an immediate impact for people who are doing all that they can to try to get the education to live their American dream.
So when you get a request from an organization from Northern Virginia that's a program for survivors of torture and severe trauma, I mean, how can you not help, right? Help us help them.
We get computer donation calls and emails coming to us from all over. Somehow we managed to be an organization that pops up when people Google, where can I donate my computer? I got some outreach from other cities. I picked up a laptop in New York last month. So people reach out to us from all over. I've recently been getting quite a few people who had their USAID contracts canceled, and they at least wanted to do good with the computers that had already been bought for the projects. So we're getting those. But large companies, smaller companies, people call us and we work out whatever their security issues are and their transportation issues are, and we welcome calls from anyone.
Donations can come from anywhere. They've come from universities, they've come from large corporations, they've come from small law firms. Originally we had started with individual donations, and certainly if you have a computer that's fairly recent, we can still take that. But what we're really focused on is larger donations from these organizations so that we can support a larger community.
So it is shocking. But there are still 40% of people in the United States that don't have reliable access to a computer. Doesn't seem possible, but it's real. And not all of them are newly arriving people in the United States. They're people whose computer might have broken and they can't afford to get a new one. There are all kinds of reasons why this need is not decreasing rapidly enough. We have given, as Clayton mentioned, we've set up computer labs. As Megan mentioned, we have helped people who are getting out of homeless shelters. And we've, as I mentioned before, we've gone into schools and supported classrooms that needed computers. But the need exists everywhere, and we are well positioned to be able to find and meet those needs. All we need are the computers, and we hope you'll help us out with that.
I mean, there's so much open source, really, truly free programs out there that we take advantage of, and we're just kind of getting the surface of it. They are not programs that will pop up ads every couple of minutes. They're truly free because the ad is and secure, and they just work really well, and they often go on donations, but they have grants, whatever. They produce these programs, and open source means that other people can take the actual program itself and modify it to their needs, and then who knows where it might end up.
So it's a real equalizing way to, use computer software.
Yeah, it's another way to level the playing field.
Exactly.
And Phil that was his goal, and he got it, and we got it.
So we talked about the fact that we wipe the computers, we load a new operating system. The other thing that we do is we take this open source software. So we take LibreOffice for a Microsoft Office Suite alternative. We take a number of different programs for video editing, for Photoshop alternative, all these things. We put them on the computers, and then we provide a list of additional software so the recipients have a computer that's ready to go, fully working, and they know where to get additional software that is also free to them. And I think that's a really important piece of what we do.
We're hoping that having spent a few seconds listening to us today, you want to donate your computers. Our website is www.dokindworks.org, and the project page is the Digital Empowerment Program, and I would love to work with you so that your retired laptops can become somebody else's ability to take college classes, to get a job, and to stay connected. Thank you so much.